Alright, so this video is going to be about Rafael Dos Anjos, the former 155-pound UFC champ. Lately, he's been on a losing streak at 170 pounds, and I really think that has to do with the fact that he's just too small for the weight class. He's 5'8", pretty short. He is stocky, but it's just everybody in that weight class is literally like 5'11", 6', 6'1", really strong. It's a stacked weight for wrestlers. People like Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, just pretty much everybody there is just like elite grappler. And he's just shown that one, he has a very hard time with wrestlers, except for Kevin Lee, who is a 155 pounder. That guy is he's shorter. He's a natural 155 pounder. And Rafael Dos Anjos did beat him and he choked him out. But the fact that everybody else is just so much bigger at 170, he looks like Diego Sanchez at 170 when he's just getting ragdolled by some of these guys. They're just too small. And not to compare Rafael Dos Anjos with Diego Sanchez, because Rafael Dos Anjos is obviously the better fighter at this point. But I do think that Rafael Dos Anjos is really lacking in his strength and his defense against these wrestlers. And his striking's fine. His explosiveness is great. But he's just really, he doesn't have enough maximum strength to defend himself against being bulldogged against by these bigger, stronger fighters. And it shows. I think his work with Nick Curson was really great. Nick Curson is a great trainer, an awesome trainer actually, and he's perfect for people at their weight class. He's not good for somebody going up a weight class, and one of these reasons is Nick Curson does not believe that maximum strength is actually important. He subscribes to the fact that plyometric strength and speed and endurance are the most important factor. And when you go to a higher weight class and the foundational strength is not there for the weight class to deal with people who are naturally 170 pounders who, walk around at 200 and they're elite level grapplers, he's just not going to be able to defend himself. One of the things that the Greeks and the Romans would say about wrestling is that it is the biggest test of strength for a human being is wrestling. So with that being said, strength matters in wrestling situations or wrestling itself or grappling, especially when he's getting bulldogged against the cage. If he does not have the upper body strength to move these guys off of him, create a space, just shift the weight of the other person for a little bit, then he's not going to be able to get out. He's just going to be pinned there or pinned on the ground because he's just not strong enough. And like upper body strength has shown to be the biggest requirement in a grappling situation when you want to control another human being. One of the things with police officers when they're arresting people is that the thing that gets them in the biggest amount of trouble is not having the upper body strength to subdue another human being, and that's one of the biggest problems in law enforcement. So upper body strength is a big factor, especially when you're trying to grapple with another human. I just don't think that the Nick Curson style of training with emphasis on speed and explosiveness is just not the way he needs to be training, if he's going to be at 170, he's too small. He needs to up his strength. His maximum strength needs to go up. Upper body strength, focus needs to be part of his routine. He needs to build up some sort of maximum strength there. Like he needs to be doing literally like basic stuff like a bench press or an overhead press or like an upright row or a jammer press. Just anything. Just he needs to be overloading his upper body to produce strength. He just has to do it. If he doesn't do this, he's not going to be able to really do anything against these guys. These guys are too strong, they're too big, and not being able to push them off of them, pick them up, grapple them, move them around. I know some of that does have to do with your posterior chain and with your legs and all that stuff, but his legs are actually really super strong. That's one of the good things that he developed with Nick Curson, and that is, it looks like he just genetically has big legs. But yeah, I don't really see him becoming a 170-pound champion anytime soon when you have these monsters like Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Masvidal. All these people are way bigger than him, and he's just not going to be able to do anything. Of course, he fought Neil Magny, he fought Lawler, but all those guys, they don't have that attack style wrestling that a lot of these other guys do, where they're going to bulldog you against the fence. Like, I don't think he could beat Damian Maia. Like, it's just not going to happen. He's too small. I think like if he was a boxer, he'd be fine, because they're not going to just sit there and hold on him. Unless it was like a Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson situation where he just, clinches him the whole time and wears him down. But yeah, I don't think that it's just not going to happen for him at 170. It's impossible. He's not strong enough. He's shown time and time again that he's just literally too small for the weight class. And another big issue for him is that if you look at the people he's training with, you look at his boxing coach, people he's holding mitts with, people he's like grappling with, they're all small. I've rarely seen him like in a video where he's striking with a guy who's 6 feet tall. He's not grappling with people who are 6 feet tall. He has all these little dudes around him, and it's just like, what is he even doing? If he's going to train like that, if he's going to train the way he's going to train, if he's going to practice with who he's going to practice, if like the guy who is even holding mitts with him isn't at least 6 feet tall, then he's just never going to get used to being at 170. It's impossible. I really don't think he belongs at 170. I think he's natural 155er. But I also think that he can do 170. 170 would be great for him, but he's going to have to get a different trainer. He's going to have to get somebody who's going to emphasize maximum strength, especially in his upper body, because it's just, even Masvidal, when he fought Kamaru Usman, had a real problem with him up against cage, and Masvidal's way bigger than Rafael Dos Anjos. So I would say even for Masvidal, if he wants to beat Kamaru Usman, Masvidal himself has to up his upper body strength. Kamaru Usman is just way too strong. He's strong. He muscled Tyron Woodley. Obviously, he has a great wrestling, but he's stronger than Tyron Woodley. He's stronger than Kamaru Usman. I mean, he's stronger than Masvidal. But yeah, Kamaru Usman is a great wrestler, but he's also just really strong. You can tell that his wrestling style differs between Colby Covington's, because Colby Covington is more like fast-paced wrestling, more aggressive, fast-paced. It's almost like that Iowa style where you just don't stop wrestling. And Kamaru Usman's style is a little bit slower, and he still does really well. And one of the reasons why he does really well, he's going like actually a lot slower than Colby Covington, and he's still doing really well in his wrestling because he's so strong. His upper body is crazy. Look at his chest muscles. Look at his back muscles. Look at his arms. His waist is small. His legs aren't crazy huge, but it's just his upper body strength is so strong that he's just really able to use his strength and his technique all at once to really pin these guys against the wall, to take them down, to defend against their shots. I mean, it's just not going to happen for anybody if they don't come into the octagon with either strength to go against the champion, or in RDA's his position, he needs to have maximum strength just for the weight class. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to go far. And I don't see him training with Nick Curson really benefiting his career at 170. I think that Nick Curson's a great trainer to train with when you're at your natural designated weight class. He would be great to train with. But the other thing too is Nick Curson trains you extremely hard. And I really think that some of the stuff he's doing, I think it would be better to spend more energy on the mat or in the ring striking and really building up your agility and your movement from actual work, doing the actual thing that you're supposed to be doing. Like, I think when you have like, you're on the hypoxicator, you got tubes in your mouth and you're running, trying to mimic high altitude, and you're doing all these things and you're doing all these little drills that he has you doing for hours, and you can tell Rafael Dos Anjos is just really into that training. He's really into training with Nick Curson. He's really aggressive about it. He's like getting high off of his training. He has his flow going. He thinks that that's going to help him a lot, but actually it's not going to help him, because it'll help him be in good condition, but he really, really, really needs to like just all that energy that he's spending doing cross training, doing all this other stuff, speed training, etc., conditioning. He needs to take all of that energy and put it in the ring, in a cage, or on the mat, whatever, with his training partners. And his training partners need to be taller, bigger dudes. And he needs to just like, when I used to wrestle, some of the people who did the best were the people who didn't actually do anything extra. They didn't lift weights, and they didn't even go running. They just they went from one wrestling practice to another wrestling practice, and to wrestling in their garage when they got home, practicing and refining movement, moves. And that's all the training they did. And the training was really just on the mat. So you really can benefit from just doing the actual stuff that you're meant to be doing. I don't see how, just doing nothing but plyometrics and medicine ball training would be better than actually doing nothing but wrestling and boxing and jiu-jitsu and just doing hard practice after hard practice after hard practice. I think that would be way better. And also, he needs to get with a strength coach to get his strength up. Otherwise, if he doesn't get that maximum strength up, I don't see him going very far at 170, if not retiring within the next couple fights. All right, that's it.